Well, hello, my stamping friends. It's Leslie with LuvINK Paper again. For those of you that didn't catch me earlier, I popped in real quick to do a live unboxing of the September paper pumpkin kit, which arrived on my doorstep today. My letter carrier was kind enough to drop off 3 of them, actually. So I opened one and we did a quick, I made the 2 projects, a card and a bag. And then I will introduce the alternates on Monday. So anyway, just wanted to let you know that I was here earlier as well. So tonight, let me just check the time. Yep, we're right at 7 o'clock. So let's see if, I'll give it just a minute more. I was running just a little behind. It looks like the clock in my studio is running a little slow. I'm wondering if the clock needs a new battery or something. So we'll take care of that because I thought I had a few more minutes. Good thing I checked. Anyway, here we are. And I am ready to share with you some really fun, well, a really fun card. Okay. I'm wondering what you guys do when you get stuck. Okay. Some people say, oh, I lost my mojo, or oh, I'm just stuck. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to... So there's a few things you can do when that happens to you. And one of the things that I like to do when that happens to me is I open our catalog and I just start browsing through. Are you all set with this? I'm going to move this. Okay. All right. So I start going through the catalog, and this time today I turned to, I haven't used Ringed with Nature. It was the very, it was in my nature kind of section of my stamps. It was the one farthest back, which means I haven't used it in a while. So I said, we should use that. Hey, that's a pretty cute sample. I would like to do that. So now what do I do? How do you go about saying, okay, I want to do this? Okay. What if you don't have this stamp set? Okay, well, you find other stamp images that you have that would fit a pattern like this. But I happen to have this one, and I thought I would like to do that, but I'm not sure I want to do those colors. So you can, when you case, which is something that you'll hear in crafting terminology, okay? Case can be a whole lot of things. Case can mean copy and share everything. Case can mean copy and share and edit. Okay, so you can kind of add. Okay, copy and, I guess some people call it copy and selectively edit. So you could edit the images that you used. You could edit the color combination, whatever. Okay. So that's what I usually do, okay, is I find something that I want to create, and then I go ahead and figure it out. Well, how do I figure out what size all those pieces are? Because there's nothing labeled. It doesn't tell me. All right, so what I did was it looked like a pretty standard card. So I said, okay, I need a standard card base of 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So I started with that. So now I have that. Then it looks like there's another layer of the same color. Okay. Then I do that. Okay. So now I know what I'm fitting everything on. What I'm fitting everything on is 4 by 5 1/4. So let me just move this off to the side. And I thought I had, did I take it somewhere? thought I had that piece of paper that I had used. Oh, I put it back here. Okay, so the next thing I do is I bring in some of our grid paper, okay? I love our grid paper for this very reason, is you can use it, okay? So I just made my little layer. Okay, it's 4 by 5 1/4. I know that now, right? What did I just do with that card base? Oh boy. Oh my goodness, you guys, we're gonna have it's gonna be one of those nights apparently. Okay, so we'll put those aside, all right? So then I take, whoops, let's bring our picture back in. Okay, so then I say, okay, well, I've got some little pieces. So I've got 4 inches to work with. So if these are all a little more than an inch, okay, or the next thing I could do is measure my stamp, okay, not the block, the stamp. So let's pull this flower off, okay, and let's put it in here really carefully. And I have about an inch, whoops, no. Oh yeah. What did I decide that was? Hang on. Yes, okay. So if I'm pretty close, okay, so here's my 1 3/4 inches, okay? So I might just put that there, and here's 1 3/4 inches. So I've got myself a little square. Well, that looks pretty square. So now I say, okay, we'll start with that size piece, all right? And then I know that I want this one the same width, okay, but I've got a little bit of room, right? So then we figure out what this one is. All right, so here's 1/8 and here's 1/8. That makes 1/4. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1 inch. 1, 2, 3. 1 inch and 3/4, and another 1/4 is 2 inches. Okay, so I made this piece. So here's my 1 3/4 inches square. Okay, and then I figured that out. Now sometimes I'll cut these a little big to start with, okay? So I might have started with a 2 by 2 knowing it was a little big, or I can just figure out by measuring my stamps, okay, about what I need. Now I know I need to I've got 2 more layers, 2 more squares here to figure out 3 more shapes that I have to fit in. So this one looks a little thinner, but longer. So I went to 1 inch, pretty sure I went to 1.5 inches. Okay. Like that. All right. And so then I know what I've got left over. So I can, oh, this is the tall one. I almost forgot. Okay, so I know I can go here, like that, and then I can go here. Okay, so once I kind of get that figured out, now I can sketch those things in if that helps me, or whatever, okay? Or maybe it just helps me figure out and just wiggle it around on my grid paper before I stamp or glue anything down, okay? So that's sort of my next thing. So the first thing I do is identify my basic layers. I know I've got a pretty standard card base. It's not taller and skinnier, okay? It's not a slim line, okay? It's just your basic card. So I know what that is, and I know what one layer down is, okay? After 21 years, those measurements are so stuck in my head that I can't get them out, all right? And so then, once I've figured out those pieces, then I can lay them on that layer. Whoops, we're gonna go over. We're not gonna have quite that big of a margin. Okay. And so once I know they all fit, then I can go ahead and stamp them. That one looks like I got my pencil on it here. Okay, well, it'll be okay. So, identify the basic layers, I measure my stamps or whatever, I sketch it out on the grid pad, and then I cut my pieces, and I may start a little larger so that I can trim them down. Because like hair, you can't put it back. Once you've taken it off, you can't put it back, okay? So, let's do a little stamping, and we'll use, I have all the images we're going to need on blocks. So we're just going to jump right in. So up here, I have the sizes. These are all in inches. Okay, I didn't put the little inch marks, but it's all in inches because I think I probably failed metric math way back when they were teaching it. Except now that my flower is not here. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so I am going to do the flower in, so I've changed the colors up a little bit. So we're going to use fresh freesia for the flower. And because it's a photopolymer stamp, I can make room and I can see. I'm going to actually stand up to do this. Oh, I'm so glad my friend Doreen is here. So there we go. So I have room for the flower, and I'll have room for the little leaf that I'm going to do next. Okay, so we'll just ink that up, and I'm going to, because this is a photopolymer stamp set, and they all have a lot of surface area, well, they don't all, but a lot of them have a lot of surface area, I'm going to go ahead and use my Stampin' Pierce mat. Now I wrap a piece of grid paper. I know some people don't, but if you get ink on the Stampin' Pierce mat and you don't clean it off, it doesn't dry because of the material that the Stampin' Pierce mat is made out of. The ink isn't going to dry, so it's going to, it could, not necessarily will, but it could end up on your project, which could be frustrating. Okay, so I'm just going to wiggle this around and make sure I'm leaving room for the little leaf. Okay, so we'll just give that a second. There's that. And we want to add some I think the Cajun Craze. Not sure I'm going to love this color, but at least not for the flower center, but we'll give it a go. And I think we'll stamp it off so it will be a little bit lighter. Okay, that's all right. All right, so oops, nope, not yet. We're not quite done. All right. Let's grab the old olive for our little leaf. Now, it has a stem, and I'm not 100% sure I want to have that stem tucked in there. So I'm going to work kind of hard at not getting too much of that stem inked. All right. And I think if I go right about there, that should be pretty perfect. All right, so there's our flower. So let's close those up. Actually, I'm going to need, not yet. Okay, let's clean that. And close this. So let me just show you the palette that I'm working with, because there's a lot of colors here. So I have chosen, look at all of these ink pads. Oh my goodness. I have Old Olive, Poppy Parade, Crumb Cake, Cajun Craze, Boho Blue, Gray Granite, and Fresh Freesia. Whew! Now, if you didn't happen to have all those colors, no worries. Use markers, use whatever works for you. Okay? All right, so let's do the mushrooms next. So we have the stems and we have the tops. Now, they're not always mushrooms. This same stamp is going to be used for the acorns. But we are going to use, actually we could use crumb cake. I was going to use gray granite, but I think the crumb cake will work nicely for those stems. And so we want to and we could even stamp off if we wanted to, although I think for these I'm going to just go ahead and stamp it down here. And I think I'm down low enough. I hope I am. And then I'm going to grab the Poppy Parade and see if we can get those inked up nicely and put some tops on our, I don't know if they're mushrooms or toadstools. Anybody know how to tell the difference? I have no idea whether something would be considered a toadstool or a mushroom, but I like that. Okay, good fall colors. All right, so then we need to, we want that crumb cake, but we need to clean this because I'm going to use a different color for our acorns. I'm going to make our acorns Cajun Craze. And we want the caps to be crumb cake, and then we have a branch. So we have some leaves here, and we're going to do that on here, on the skinny one for the middle. And we're going to grab our leaves. Now these aren't exactly oak leaves, but you know, it's all good. Okay, so we've got our branch here. Okay, then we're going to, we're going to do ours differently. All right, so here's where it gets tricky. Because these are all together, and I want these in the Cajun Craze, but I want them stamped off. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take that a little lighter. Now, let's see here. Okay, I see how we're doing this. They're not all going to exactly touch, and that's okay. Okay, so we've got our acorns. All right. Then, that's this one we don't need now. And we need our crumb cake and each little acorn top. So we're going to go in here. I'm trying not to get my head in your camera view. So let's see here. There's one. And we're going to do one over here. And it won't quite touch, and that's okay. And this one is going to more touch like it's connected over here. And that, again, that's okay. There we go. All right. So, have those. All right. So that's going to go in the middle there. Like that. And then over here, we are going to use that branch again. And this time, we're going to add berries. And we're going to use those in the Poppy Parade. So we'll have our branch on this one. It's going to go across. So we're going to stamp our branch kind of coming this way. Almost going up. Like this. Okay. Whoop. There we go. Then we're going to grab the Poppy Parade and going to add those berries. Do we want them stamped off? Oh, maybe a little bit. Poppy Parade is pretty strong. Let's take a little bit of that off. And we'll have slightly lighter berries here. Like that. All right. So that gets to go over here. So we're using many of the the stamps in this stamp set. There are 22, and we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're using half of the images tonight, which is pretty impressive, actually. All right, so let's do our little house. So we'll have a blue house to match our background. So we'll open up the boho blue. Okay. And okay, so that's going to be down here, kind of near the bottom. Like that. Okay. Then we need the roof. And for that, we're going to go with gray granite. I bet you thought we were not going to use it, huh? I bet you thought I was kidding because I thought we were going to use it for the mushrooms, and then we didn't. There's my roof. Okay. There we go. Lovely. All right, so now, and I think I will use I didn't bring over Night of Navy. I could have. Or even Misty Moonlight would have worked. If I wanted to go more close, you know, kind of close to tone on tone. But I think I'm going to put my Just For You in Memento Black. It will jump right off of that paper. So we'll add the Just For You. Okay. We'll find a good spot for it right there. And just go ahead and press that into place. Like that. So now all we have left to do is to put it all together. All right, so let's do that. I'm going to keep that there so you guys can see it. All right, let's grab my seal. And we'll add some adhesive to these pieces like that, and we'll go pretty close. So we have a smaller than typical border. Okay. Like that. So be sure you check things out, because I've got a post coming up on how you can, some of my ideas about what to do if you feel like your mojo is gone for a little while. Sometimes it just takes some time to get it back, and sometimes there are some ways to help it along, right? And so be watching for a post with some ways for you to let me know that you want to know about those ideas. All right, so because this is tone on tone, sometimes I like to use dimensionals, and then you get that, just that little bit of shadow, and it just adds that little something to the card. Okay, so we'll just add a couple more dimensionals like that. I think I've got 2 more spots that I want to do right there. Okay, so and if you missed catching me live, you can always catch the replay on Facebook, or I will be posting this to my YouTube channel when I get home. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to just move that a little bit. I'm going to move this over here, and then I'm going to bring that catalog page back in, and you can see how I changed some of it. I changed some of the colors. Okay. But that's pretty much that card. It's just a little bit different. It's got my twist, my personality. Okay. For those of you that know, I'm a blue girl all the way. Okay, so that's why I chose the boho blue. So anyway, that's one idea of casing the catalog, okay? And that one used the same stamp set. You can case the catalog and use a stamp set that you have that you can make fit. So if you have images that would fit something like that, then you certainly could do that. So I hope that was fun for you to find a little bit different way of kind of jump starting yourself with some ideas if you're feeling a little stuck. Turn to our catalog. It's not just a catalog, it really is an idea book. Okay, so thanks so much for joining me here. I will be heading to Women's Weekend at Camp Dakota this weekend. Looking forward to stamping with lots of people there. And then Monday, I will have the Paper Pumpkin Party at 4. So tune in then, and you can see what I decide to do as alternates with the with Love and Gratitude's kit. All right. So thanks so much for joining me. I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.